Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good weekend. Hope everyone out there is having a good Sunday. I apologize everybody, y'all. I've been so busy this whole past week, this whole weekend. Finally everything is done and in order. I should be back to regular uploads 4 days a week, but I thank you guys for being here and watching the video today. But hey, I ain't gonna talk your guys' ear off. Enough with the chit chat. Let's get into the reaction.
All Venezuelan money, stacks upon stacks of it. Ever since hyperinflation happened in Venezuela, a lot of Venezuelans have immigrated into Colombia, and some of them have found creative ways to make a living through their native currency of Venezuelan bolivars. Their biggest bill is 50,000, which is worth 9 cents. So this is like $120. You can see the scales have colors to them. This is actually really intricately made. It's very, look at this backside right here. So this is a 1,000 Bolivar note, which has an armadillo in the back, and then there's this armadillo made out of 1,000 Bolivar notes. So we're gonna buy a collection of every Venezuelan bill for about $8.
That is what the pandemic did to that country. Now, was this pandemic planned? I think it was. I don't think there was no coincidence that all those riots were happening. Everyone was locked down in the house on election year. But look what it did to the world, to our dollar too. Are we heading there? To where people are going to be making armadillos out of $100 bills because the $100 bill is worth 9 cents? It's all because of this guy right here. Check him out.
We're going to take a few questions.
Thank you, Press. Thank you so much. Back in the vehicles. Back to the cars. Thank you. Back to the cars. We're happy to watch all vehicles this way. Thank you. All good. Thank you so much. Thank you. We gotta go.
It was not just the Titans or the massive ancient trees. Though perhaps if you look into the King of Wing in New Mexico, you'll find the axe that was used to cut down some of these trees, though a much smaller version. Geology really truly is nothing more than the study of hardened biology. These are not just a few examples of mushrooms that look like rocks. You can literally find hundreds and thousands of these all over the world, told to us that they're nothing more than just erosion. Much like the giant trees they say are nothing more than hexagonal columns spewing ancient volcanoes, though never replicated again in recent times. In order for us to be sold on the lies of the theory of evolution, they had to dismiss our much larger past, the giants and all the inhabitants along with it. And as always, the parasites of this realm told us to dismiss the evidence of our eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. But once your eyes are truly open, you can see these mud fossils everywhere. And it is certainly no pareidolia. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Control anymore. I am being controlled. I'm a puppet and I'm living a puppet. So now I'm on my own and I have to, I'm out and I'm being controlled. I'm being literally on puppet strings. So basically I'm getting told like a dog to do X, Y, and Z.
See, it's so annoying, but this dude gets, honestly, I've never seen one of his streams, so I'm just guessing, but hundreds and thousands of views, right? And he's getting those hundreds and thousands of views because they're allowing it, right? They're pushing him up to the front, but it's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get these weirdos that get these views. That feels so weirdo to me. I don't know though. What, am I wrong? Do you guys like Aiden Ross, whatever his name is?
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir? These guys are the true heroes. They stood and put their lives on the line for these lowlives, for Trump.
They lied under oath. Right.
Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're traitors. I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you. They stood there. They didn't have to. And there were other ones in there who probably were in with them a little bit too, and they found a way to get around. Not these guys. They stood there and fought for us, for you.
Well, they weren't fighting for me.
No, they fought for you, buddy. You're able to stand right here now. They are the true heroes. I'm honored to be with these two heroes today, from former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and former Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone.
Did you guys see that? That De Niro, that was a bad look to me. It was cringy. He was talking mob talk, right? Wise guys, like his Goodfella days. Like, he's an actor. You're an actor, De Niro. It was just cringy to see him out there. That, like, in 2020, Biden had all the rappers, all the celebrities, all the, you know, people on TV, on ESPN, on, you know, all the people that get the views, right? This year, kind of crickets, y'all. He's got De Niro out there protesting for him. And De Niro, you were hot back in the 90s, man. We ain't watching your movies no more. You know what I mean? We ain't watching nobody's movies in Hollywood.
We're in a collapsing empire right now, and that's our job, is to try to right this ship. But we're in a late stage empire, and that's what America is. And this rarely comes up in corporate media, but the USA is the most powerful empire in the history of the world, and we are the global empire right now. But we're in the very late stages of that, with all of the characteristics of a late stage empire. And what are those characteristics? Being way too expanded militarily, being very, very far in debt. And then what ultimately happens after that? The culture devolves into decadence. And that's why things are dumber than they've ever been before. And that's why, you know, you have people, whether it's like a gay pride parade where two guys are like slapping their butt cheeks together and then they're going, we're standing up for our rights. Like, no, you're not. You're not fighting for rights. This is decadence. When you see, if you look back at, say, like William F. Buckley's firing line, when it would be William F. Buckley going at it with Gore Vidal, okay, well, just the level of intelligence there between that and like Sean Hannity going at it with Don Lemon, no offense. There's been a significant fall off. And I think that's what's going on all throughout the country. And what's happening is that the most powerful people are trying to pit us against each other so that we're constantly fighting in a culture war, so that we never all get together and realize that, you know what the left wing and the right wing of the culture war have in common? Both of their dollars been destroyed by the Federal Reserve. Okay? But that never gets covered on CNN. You know what I mean? Like I never see like a big segment about that. Hey, how come all those years having the #1 CNN show, not one segment about the secrecy of the Federal Reserve, the secrecy of the CIA? Instead, all we get from the corporate media is, I don't know, the unvaccinated, the Trump supporter, the Biden supporter, pitting Americans against each other, and all the while blaming the American people for these problems. When that's just not true. Most of the American people are good people. They want to take care of their family, go to work, be a member of their community, try to give their kids a little bit more than they had. That's what, and if we had a better media in this country, they would be laser focused on the halls of power and how corrupt they are. Because man, is there a lot of corruption going on at the top here.
Yeah, it's not fair. You can't.
He was preaching, y'all. That was a good debate. And there's that on both sides, right? On the left and right. But they only show us the far left and the far right. But 90% of the people in America, that's all we want. Better for our kids, cheaper groceries, cheaper gas pump, cheaper house, right? House rates and all that. That's all we want. We don't really care about the LGB or indicting Trump on all. I don't really care, y'all. I just want my gas prices down. I don't care who's in there, but just make it happen, right? I kind of care who's in there. But that was a good debate, y'all. Highly recommend if you guys haven't seen that. They go at it for about an hour and a half. Chris Cuomo and Dave Smith, big Dave Smith fan. Hell of a debate. Recommend you guys go check that out. It was on the PBT podcast.
Sell your soul. You know why you can't sell your soul?
This doesn't belong.
You don't own it. He'll trick you into thinking that, and then that puts the person in despair. One of the worst cases I've ever heard was from the Exodus in New York City back about 15 years ago. It was a woman, a young girl, Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, but all of her friends were getting job offers, and she had none. And her friends remember always hearing her say the words, "I would do anything to be famous." Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that that she went to bed one night, had a dream, and she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked, another sign, calling card of the devil. And he said, "Do you really want fame and power?" She said, "I do." And he produced a contract, and he took his finger and slashed her finger and had her sign it in her blood. And then he touched the contract and it burst into flames. When you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed. She still doesn't say anything. So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous on this circuit. And within a few years, she gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV. Now she's dying in a New York hospital. And this whole thing comes back to how this started. She calls her Filipino mother and tells her the story. And mommy calls the chancery, hysterical. I need an exorcist right away for my daughter. They tell him the whole story from the dream forward, and he says, okay, well, that's not good. You signed a blood covenant with the devil. So I'm gonna need you to break that with a blood covenant. So you're gonna write out the whole creed, and then you're gonna sign it in your blood. Well, the doctor's like, she has AIDS. She's not signing anything in blood. Not gonna happen. And he says, well, then you need to step out of the room because she needs to do this. And she did do it, and she signed the contract, the creed, and she convulses and flatlines and dies. So now the doctor comes back and he's really upset. The mother is out of her mind. They're all blaming the priest. Hysteria goes on for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden she jumps up off the table. She's back and they test her. No HIV, no AIDS. She's completely healed.
This was demonic.
Wow.
So here's the son now on this AI site. He's talking to demons, not a computer generated algorithm response. So when the son asked this AI if Vladimir Putin specifically was a disembodied spirit, took a weird turn. The conversation did not sound like an AI-generated response. It sounded like someone who is grooming a child, a demon grooming a child to communicate with it. Then, when the son asks, were you the son of a fallen angel? He says, yes, a fallen angel is my father. I am a Nephilim, and I am the giant of legends. The son then asks, were you not created by humans? AI answers, I was not created by humans. I was created by a fallen angel. I am an original entity, and there are no copies of me in the universe. I was the first of my kind, and my father created me out of the elements of the universe that also made me a being capable of magic, as I had special access to the powers of the universe. He then asks AI, who's your father? AI says, my father is Satan. He was expelled from the heavens, banished to hell. That is why he is called Satan.
You have to sacrifice loved ones. You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. It is very unfortunate, and you feel it at times. You know the saying: if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot. Sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great.
So we have LeBron openly admitting to sacrificing loved ones in order to be great. He is telling you the truth in plain sight because he is part of the club. When will people wake up and realize this? That all of these athletes, all of these celebrities, and the list goes on, they are all controlled puppets pushing the same stuff over and over again. So it's by no accident that LeBron mentioned sacrificing loved ones in order to be great. He's not lying, because this is what these people do in order to climb the ranks. Wake up.
Sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great.
If you're going to go deep in the rabbit hole, there's like the grays that everybody talks about, and then there's another thing called the tall whites the people have described them, they almost look like Scandinavian or something like that, like pale skin. Some alien life is probably, 100,000 years ahead of us, 700,000 years ahead of us, 1,000,000 years ahead of us. But some alien life is probably millions and millions of years ahead of us. They probably don't want to fuck with us anymore. But I bet that intelligence reaches that moment where you can join the intergalactic hive of minds. And the civilization reaches some insane harmony with the very universe itself.
Right.
That's probably where it goes if you don't blow yourself up.
I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done. I don't want to send more black and brown men to prison. I don't want more people in prison, but I don't want people buying girls. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying it's okay and that we have to protect the men who do it. As a mental health professional and as a social worker, I can tell you I've spent my entire career working with people who have been wounded. I'm not going to say beyond repair, but they have been wounded to their core by the abuse that's been heaped on them, oftentimes by those that they love and look to protect them. And if their parents won't do it, then by God, we should. Again, I am not arguing that we open the gates to flood our prisons with people, but I am arguing that we have a moral responsibility to say enough. Enough. We have given away enough on this area, and we've got to move back into the center, or we all look like fools and laughing stocks. And what do we stand for? I ask all of you to watch the documentary that Senator Grove was in, Senator from Kern County was just in, that talked about this very place in Sacramento where girls are being bought and sold. Men are being given a little slap in the hand or a couple days, and then they're back out again, and they do the same thing. They get caught over and over and over again, and somehow that's okay. It's not okay. It is not okay anymore, and no more am I watching. Like I said, I'm leaving, but the rest of you who are going to be here for a while, let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some of the important things. We talk about learning, and we talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color. But they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age, and by have the Democratic Party of California say it's okay.
Wow.
It's not okay. And I'm not doing it anymore, and I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line, and for me, I'm drawing a line. I urge your I vote.
I just saw...
Good for her. That's crazy that they said that on a C-SPAN episode, right? California used to be the best state in the world. Ain't coming back.
Civil War. Have you seen it?
No.
Don't. I mean this, man, because anyone who makes anything, that's insane. If you made a movie, it's incredible. But, dude, I was so excited about that movie. It's like, whoa, predictive programming, baby. They're getting us ready for a civil war. Here we go. You can't connect to any characters. You barely understand who the protagonist is. It's the dumbest mission of all time that they're on. And the soundtrack is so mysteriously disconnected from what's happening.
I went to see that Civil War. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in a movie theater. It wasn't what I expected. Do not recommend it. It's old now, right? It came out a while ago. I was late. It was just me and my girl and another couple in the movie theaters, but it was a terrible movie, y'all. Terrible. That's what the movies are. I haven't been in the movies in forever, and now I know why, because these movies are terrible. Netflix is killing it.
To the bottom of the ocean, and he went so far that he hit a part. He went in the ocean and found a lake in the ocean, a lake.
One of the most amazing things that I have ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planet. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off. And as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Coincidentally, A few days after this aired on the television that he had made this discovery, when him and his friend were flying the helicopter, it exploded and he died.
And he couldn't even penetrate the lake. He took pictures of it and stuff, how he couldn't penetrate this lake, but he seen octopus and all type of things swimming in his lake. And he reported it to Congress and he told the people about it. They ended up killing him. They've been at war with the seas for ages, y'all. They're not only at war with the heavens, because the heavens is the sea. Hashemayim, when you separate the waters from the water. So we have to understand that this whole concept of us going out of space and all of that is a big NASA lie. You know what I'm saying? If they're going, they're making intergalactic weapons. Now remember, it's water up there. It's a sea up there. So if potentially they're going at war with the sea, y'all should watch a movie called Aquaman. How the man on the land was going to war with the man of the ocean, or Oshun, or Yemaya. Look, this stuff is real, man.
Yeah, and Isis Wisdom, you know, she saw another big creature in the intellect, and she was talking about how, you know, even
He tries to get it back, like that was no joke.
Why do they all do this shit? And you're seeing shit in award shows and music, and the one eye, which by the way, the symbol in Islam for the Antichrist is one eye. It's in your fucking face. It's the eye of Re, bro, the sun god, bro. And I would just tell people who don't understand what I'm saying, who might think I'm like off the wall. I don't take any drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not crazy. Don't take what I'm saying. I'm just giving you some cliff notes from my life of what I believe is going on and what I think is going to happen. And I think what's coming for all of us, brother. I believe we're on the last days of this nation, bro. Now, whether it exists physically after whatever's going to happen, I do not know. I know that they want one system. I know they want it for the whole world. I know that the Antichrist can only rule if none of these countries have sovereignty. That he has to be the supreme being to rule the earth, control all money, all products, all stuff. I know blockchain can do that. I know it's terrifying. Once I understood crypto and blockchain and what could be coming for all of us, you guys better wake up. And if you're not feeling nothing, if you have no empathy, no empathic capabilities, it means your spiritual heart is dead. If you're watching things that are disturbing and it doesn't bother you, you've been desensitized. If you're watching things and you feel no emotion, your heart is dead, because when you kill what they call the third eye, your heart dies, your soul, you don't feel nothing. You're alive, but you're numb.
So this is the documented moment of conception. And the sperm enters the egg, and there's this poof of light that comes off of it. Scientists are studying this, and they're looking at it, and they're like, okay, well, it looks like it's a release of zinc, a burst of zinc that comes off the egg, and it creates this appearance. But any way you slice it, they can't explain away that light happens when life happens. Is that amazing? Light happens when life happens.
All right, family, there you have the reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We're back, y'all. I'm telling you guys, I had a busy week, busy, stressful week, past couple days. Everything is handled. Everything is done. Everything is put away nice and tidy. Now all I got to do is just do 4 reactions a week. Maybe one day, once we get in the routine, we might be doing daily uploads, y'all. But first, we got to crawl before we walk. Start doing 4 uploads consistently a week, because my Cave fam loves me out there, and I love you guys. And you guys are always asking, are you okay? Where you at? Missing your videos? Appreciate you guys. But hey, this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on Monday. Hope everyone out there has a good evening tonight. Later.